I read one of the other committee times. So I showed up half hour late, they go, we're done. You just this last one, I go, you're done. Oh my God, I read that wrong. That was a nice morning. They did it all.
Okay. It's always an adventure every time you go.
There's some water. Let's take half of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40% of the other ones are $2 store. Actually, from Walmart.
Right?
But it all boils down to half of the hundreds.
Tighter than that.
Yeah, you gotta buy.
In my exercise.
Oh, $300 per class. Some of them are pretty good. Oh, I don't know. It is a lot. Think about it.
I'll just have your sandwich on the croissant. Okay. Oh, I'm running the wrong number. That's right, you told me he doesn't have a teeth. I already put that in my notes.
Number 10.
Hey, Jen.
You're too late.
No.
I'm not gonna give you.
Just bringing you up what I want.
Hey, Ted, this is Amy.
I'm just, she forgot you
Would you be able to make me a ham, lettuce, cheese, and a croissant sandwich? Bring to extra.
Maybe.
coming right from next.
Okay, let's see. We have a pretzel roll. Salt
She's
pretzel roll.
bringing you.
$100 bill.
Just bring me the sandwich on a platter. I have something that someone can't have. Right?
Close enough.
Yep. Tomato too, I guess. No, I'll give them a mustard. Okay. Yep. Yep.
Great,
Yep.
you coffee.
Right. Sherry, the other door. No. Okay, thank you. Okay.
You get it?
All right.
Hi, Jenny.
Rice, he can't do rice. He had it in the first bag.
Oh.
EST.
Here you go. Why, sure. That's Wednesdays.
EST is like combination of burial disease and post-traumatic stress. We gotta, you know, I need to tell my brother, I know he can't come with his working at the golf course. I said, he's got a new son-in-law and his daughter that live right down the street here.
Yeah.
He can join. They come to the Christmas party.
He talked about putting the hit on them to come in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. And
but I don't think
Andy
it's followed
can't.
through. Yeah, Andy's.
Because he's got his church stuff. I don't even, I have 3 clubs, can't do anymore.
Yeah.
Well, imagine this time of year, like, everybody's.
Finally, I still don't have Sarah Oshley join Watershed. That'd be the most logical one for her to join. Their kids' schedule, because it's at noon, only twice a month.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter does. Right here in the
Yep, yep. Saw that.
She's trying to finish her
A
doctorate.
lot of corn coming up.
We went down the borough yesterday. Tried to use that. All fields. Special.
Yeah, you mentioned he was headed down there. So, what's your daughter's doctorate in?
Public health.
Probably smart to use water. I'm sorry, it was that.
University of Illinois at Chicago. I don't know, got a baseball game.
I don't know, I'm always shocked at how many people.
So then Saturday.
I'm listening every week.
Sit there.
I remember that. Oh, is that right? Because Scott joined Columbus, so I decided. But if I'm gonna keep you at night, I go to the 6:30 meeting in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
It doesn't take very long.
It's not a bad time
Told him to come to the picnic, it was right up.
Yeah.
for people that are working.
Well, they talked about making it even at 7, but then they have a super active high school teacher, Betsy Collins, who, is the big connection with youth. So they can't really, here it goes, they can't really, thank you, Chad, that is wonderful. Just kidding. They can't really do that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, mustard or mayo, if I get you.
Mustard and mayo.
Or both.
Yeah.
Mustard and mayonnaise. Either one? Okay, it's a plain sandwich then. There you go.
Yeah, made for you. That's your sandwich. Store. You don't like rice. She forgot.
You guys gonna have a picnic this year?
Yep, 3 weeks. We're gonna do it at Aurelius Township. We've never been, I don't think we've ever done it out there since I've been in Lyons.
It's been quite a while since we've been out to realize.
They named Dave DeRocha as the interim superintendent, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
David DeRocha, Ruben's brother.
There's a whole parcel of them out there anyway.
Yeah.
I think Eileen was the librarian and Annie was out there as a page.
She went, Annie was at that one? I didn't remember that one. I thought she was at the downtown one. Yeah, Eileen's wonderful. She was, wonderful. That's Brian's mother. And then his parents are both gone. He lives in the original farmhouse. His dad, his grandpa homesteaded.
Now, which one was my brother's landlady? The one who does the syrup.
Brian
Oh, yeah?
Grosha, yeah.
Must be his wife.
Eileen? No, that was his mother. Brian DeRocha. Dorson DeRocha was married to Eileen, and he died in a tractor accident loading his tractor at Dansville, I think Memorial Day parade.
Oh,
He flipped his tractor over on top of himself, loading it up on a trailer.
I remember hearing about that.
Yep. And so then Brian, where was your brother living at? In Aurelius?
No, downtown Lansing.
I didn't know Brian had any trouble, had any rentals down there.
Well,
He did,
She
huh?
showed up on my porch one day talking about, you know, my brother's car. It
Was her name April?
No, I don't think so. But it was unusual that she was his landlady. But I told her to slap a sticker on it, call it abandoned property, which is what she ended up doing.
I don't know who that would have been.
Because we didn't want to touch it. We didn't want to deal with it.
Was he already gone? Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, when he died, that's pretty much all he had was the car. He had a couple $100 into some kind of retirement account, but then there wasn't anything we could do about it.
Yeah.
So I kept telling him, I said, hey, I'm sorry, you get to keep the money. Oh, no, we can't do it. Yeah, you can, because we have no way of taking it back. So eventually they got the word. But that's all he had left. He had a couple bills,
Yeah. But that.
mostly Meyer credit card that he used to buy alcohol with at the very end. So. Yeah, I saw a picture on.
That's not on yet, is it?
Oh yeah,
Hi.
Heard you
comes the
swearing
big
all the
buck.
way up through there.
yeah.
What you want?
Shit, I'll put that in the minutes. Shit.
Is it possible before you get rid of
Yeah,
it?
take
Can I
that.
just take some home?
Yeah, you sure can. I got a lot to take home. You want fruit and everything? You want everything? Or just the main dish?
Just the main dish.
You want cornbread?
Maybe a couple of pieces. Thank you.
I'm hoping that you're feeding Sam, but I don't think you are.
He doesn't like rice, but you know what? I do.
Okay.
And-
Is he home? That's
I don't know.
That's
He'll
what
never be home.
I know.
He
That's
wants
what
to.
I've been going. I'm gonna guess it's.
And I
probably
do
not
take
first thing.
stuff up to him once in a
Yeah.
while. We had a birthday party for him up there.
Good job.
Yep, and then what did I take up the other day? We took Mother's Day food up to him.
Is he had to have more surgery on his legs?
It's a monthly cleaning, making sure it's, healing and stuff. We go there tomorrow and got him a wheelchair and he's not gonna use the damn thing. He said, he's planning on coming home and I got mad and I said, "Don't ever
Did you call
come home because I'm not pushing you. I don't know what you said.
Yeah. Oh.
Because he can't.
He's not mobile. And your house isn't.
Well, if he doesn't show up,
But in his mind, I was just thinking, come on, well, not if you can't do it.
Right.
I don't think I got one of these papers.
Lynn's got to get
I was just kind of up here hanging out. I know that he'll want to eat. Ben will want to eat, and he's on his way.
up out of town,
Yeah.
the bridge and the cemetery. We ain't got that many people.
Run from one place to the other.
We ain't got even a lot of them that can walk.
this is
Some of them,
what I came up with for discussion purposes.
There you go.
So you can
I'll take one.
take that to wherever you go.
That over the local
Because we got to start talking about it. On the back is the needs for the museum and then the library, which is a lot longer because it's more detailed. But
Well, we always, when it gets to be, we'll have a 100+ one in June.
yeah,
The next one would be in September.
well, take that with you.
Yeah.
Hey, Benjamin, how are ya?
Sorry.
Good to see you.
I just knew I had your
Jamie.
name. I'm not.
You did,
I'm
no.
a caterer, so
Here.
you get to go eat first.
Yeah, I was like,
She had your number. I didn't.
no, it's great. I was like, whoa, why? On my calendar, I put 6:30. It was the email said for some reason my calendar,
Karen Robinson is our president. She's up there in front.
Hi.
Oh, Karen.
Drive me in. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Would you like a meal?
come on, way out into this mountain.
We should be. So, yes, unless we get the turn them in forever.
they're they're bad news.
I'm thinking about asking my son, but
They've been hearing from their dad from.
he of course has childcare duties when my daughter-in-law's out of town. Hard to say what his reaction will be. I'll try to.
Yeah, Worth checking.
Maybe I'll show him my little PowerPoint presentation on why it's on. And that's what he's the feature performer in that one.
There you go. Yeah, I've talked to neighbors, but I haven't, he's not joined us.
Yes, I don't hear that. I get
That's without
Yeah,
us.
our neighbors have two kids. One's across the street, have little kids, the other guy is in the military, so he's never around.
We're getting a little bit of turnover in the neighborhoods, and we've got a fair amount of elders as it were. Turnover 20 years ago.
We don't have that many elders left here, they've all sold their houses.
I was surprised that they were Canadian. But then
So she's been there, lived there for 40-some years. I said, yeah, I'm a newcomer, only been here 29.
You had something in his ear, and then you had this stick that
So she agreed that I was a
whoever
newcomer.
was talking, and that magnified it, so her,
One body, we got our quota. With the stick in here, probably what, during World War I or two? Two?
What?
Most of the other people that I interact with, not from the area.
Virginia was kind of passing
Church,
families.
most of the remaining folks at church are from Indianapolis.
The mother remarried, and then they had a baby.
Yeah, I was able to get Heather in, even though she's on the rotary.
Yep.
It's kinda hard to keep rating the other service because
Right.
They said, get up, move around, I'll get tired here.
Jump up and down.
Finding your route.
you know, I've got an application.
You know, they did that a lot too, you know. Man, kids went to live with parents and grandparents, uncles, and they just.
she stopped by the booth for a moment.
Church.
She talked about how busy she is, but I don't know the details. The grandkids, yeah. With the library.
Guy that used to come and
Yes,
sing over.
yes, thank you for doing that.
And he had a song about the orphan train. You ever hear of the orphan train?
You said, yeah.
No? They get these orphans, they put them on a train and drive them west.
Well, I got an
Yeah.
email from
They would get them, and some of them had three families, and some of them just treated them
saying,
slave labor.
asking me, who owns the train station? Because their stuff says that they own it.
Go ahead, you watch.
And our stuff says that we own it. The only narrative I can find is that the city's bicentennial committee turned it over to the corporate side.
Oh, the reason why I know that, my grandson was there.
I told their president, go look at the picture. See if there's a deed in there. Because if there isn't, it's a
Right.
yeah, I know there's one for the main.
So,
But they may have just, you know, just bicentennial.
Smaller local.
the deed in the courthouse, registered deeds.
Is there deeds? Yeah, I could check that.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Take your time, don't rush.
Yeah.
Gone.
We give them a cheat sheet to read for every.
Oh, look at this. Oh, what you got? Look at you. Doing some research here.
I'm a PR guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. So I, I already got all this. I don't even need to.
Oh, yes, you
Right.
do.
We don't read it.
We don't read it.
We don't read, we wanna hear it.
Well,
Pretend the people who are reading it can't hear it, and the people who are hearing it can't read it, so.
on what, What do you, want me to focus on?
Obviously coming back after the building burning and then COVID. That's what we all want to know. What we knew before versus necessarily what we don't know. I think we're coming back. I saw your summer movie.
Yeah, so we've been studying.
My opinions aren't as high as they used to
Yeah,
be.
that fire you guys had just shows, right up front, there's a hot work. Hot work. Yeah, the guy, for the next to the fire, you had somebody build the building, the small stuff, caught. Nobody caught it until it was too late.
There was, well, the ramp builders.
Yeah,
Yeah, the guys were grinding the metal.
yep, yep. And that's, I worked in Dartmouth all the time.
Oh,
Yeah, if you're doing something like that, in most cases, you needed a hot work permit, and you needed somebody standing around, paying attention to what you're doing.
yeah, the ramp builders we hired.
Yeah.
No, they're camping, so they said.
Check and see.
And then I'm hoping that this actual grass is up to, once this top is pulled off, it's done. Yeah. I'm hoping.
We had over the years
Comes back and
some issues with paint
See,
filters.
last year, that was
From our
the
spray booth.
tops, but they were already
Yeah,
running.
he went day
So
one.
every time I pulled it,
Combusted. Which they will.
well, then it rained, after it rained, you see.
Are you retired now?
Yeah.
Grass.
He got rid of his truck.
Yeah, I was part-time in 2018. Wrapped it up very, very end of 2019. Timing was good.
Mine was real good.
He was right support.
You know, a year later.
Yeah, you can see it, well.
It's like me. I also see in August of 2018, retired from Pittsburgh in October of 2019,
Yep.
and right before.
I don't know.
They
Well, I
down.
suppose it's been seen, and then they hired.
Trailer.
You know,
Looking at our stuff, getting ready for next fall, and it says the 50th annual Holidays. Not really. Yeah, 50th down. But it's the 50th down. Except during COVID. Except during COVID.
Well, we'll give it for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll give them a pass on that. considering-
Well,
whole
apparently
world
they
was
didn't
pushing
pay much attention because the chamber had its 50th anniversary too in 2022.
Nobody even met.
Oh, I caught her, but. Oh, so it's the one.
I've seen it.
Oh.
That's my favorite.
I have to buy it.
Yeah, I think, wow.
Oh, yeah.
They don't put it out yet. 2023, they still work the medical resident. Because they're gonna include 3 Lansing High School students. And there are about 800 students in each class, so you can imagine how many classes.
We're back then.
Oh, yeah, just 3 grades.
Should be all clean now.
And there are only 2,400 in every 3 grades, so it's 800, over 800, that's 830. And somebody, they decided they would do this reunion with all 3 Lansing High schools, 3 at the time, anyway. And somebody with deep pockets from Saxon High School arranged to get a 3-dog night and the Temptations.
Yeah.
And so, when it was postponed or canceled, they're all very bummed.
Yeah.
They got them back again, so it's gonna happen.
It is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a few years late, but you know, look that way.
That's not just indicative. So, that was before a lot of people moved out. Like DeWitt was probably nothing at that point. Holt was probably nothing at that point.
Holt was fair size. My wife graduated from Holt.
Yeah, Holt was pretty big. Yeah, remember, this is the height of the baby boom, so
Yeah.
everybody had a big class. In fact, Lansing builds another high school that opens a year after I graduated. So that's where my I have three brothers and one sister graduated from here.
Picnic thing on Thursday
My
night.
brother Steve,
And then
graduated from
classes and
Everett.
stuff on
Did he-
Friday.
So they stayed at
Friday night was
But some of the other schools
on
weren't
Saturday.
what they are now, like, I was thinking Hazlet,
I never went.
DeWitt, because I grew up in Hazlet myself, and it was probably half the size when I was in elementary school. as it is
Yeah,
now.
there's a lot of
So-
subdivisions out
To
that way
go
now.
to a
Yeah.
Thursday night or
That's
Friday
true.
night.
Yeah, a lot of those
Focus
places
was
are
on.
considered rural.
Little rural, yeah.
Even Mason.
Even Mason, I was gonna say, they were really small back then.
Yeah, I went to Aquinas College after I graduated from high school. A little over 1,000 students, so less than half the size of a high school.
Oh my goodness.
Now, my father-in-law was in the top 10 of his class. There's 9 in his class,
There you go.
up northern Michigan, little wide spot in the road called Elba,
Okay,
north of Mansalona,
yeah.
south of Elmira.
Remember one time when
No, don't even know what those are either.
we counted out,
Never heard of either.
we were
Oh,
just almost
You
exactly.
don't drive 131 north.
One counting 20.
A Cadillac.
40,
Not much.
20,
Um,
46, 80.
I,
All the way
on a
up.
DJ weddings, I'll
They did
go
it twice.
127 north.
You're
A
skipping.
lot of different
Or
bars.
something like 6 or 7, or I do it too, and.
Over in
sure
Grand
enough,
Rapids,
that's-
Allendale,
that's
area, like all of that,
what-
never really, never
Up the
really
West
north on
Coast?
131, not really.
So I think there must be a little sport in the computer.
About 20 miles
No, I think there's a quirk in that damn
west of Hayward.
Okay, yeah.
tournament game that they had,
I-
floating around chips, who knows
Yeah,
what
I
out there.
know.
I don't know anything about
However,
that, but
Even when I was working.
I don't think it had anything to do with what we
I
did.
don't go up there very much.
Yeah.
I went up there when I was in the seminary because I was in the Diocese of Grand Rapids. Pushing us up to the parishes.
whenever.
Oh, whenever I'm ready?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I thought I was waiting on
Oh,
someone
no,
else.
no, whenever you're ready.
We were just talking back there.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I didn't know if you were gonna ring a bell or do a thing if you were.
No, no, we don't wanna
That
rush
was a
you.
big.
Oh, no, you're fine. I'm ready to go whenever, but
You're not a skier, so
I thought you were gonna do like
15
a.
miles south of Boyne.
Water or anything like that. No, you are.
Well, I know that one time they paid down either
He
5 or
doesn't
6
look very
places,
happy, does he?
and normally it's like 3.
Yeah.
Looks like an
So,
awfully
yeah.
nice chair, though.
Well, you know, those people who play that tournament, that's a good game for them.
Oh, yeah, correct.
And they have a lot.
Yeah.
Texas Bowl, I don't.
Well,
I don't know like that.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll pass out one of these then.
but I'm gonna go first, though.
Okay. Pass out one of these.
It's like 3 to me. It's like
Yes.
1.
3, 4.
Five. Oh, yeah, 5 minutes. But that's okay, he and I can share, because we've been.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, our speaker tonight is Benjamin Scharchow he's from Building 21. Doug knows him personally, and I don't, so Doug's gonna do the actual introduction.
Yeah. Many years ago, when I was teaching at LCC, we had a little competition between some classes at our communication department. And at that time, the building over there, which is now where Oracle is now, which was the shopping guide, was empty. And the competition for my students was to decide what should go in there. Well, one of the main ideas that they came up with was an indoor skate park and tutoring for students. So I thought to myself, when I heard Benjamin Scharchow talk about starting up Building 21, which would have an indoor skate park and tutoring for students, I thought, gee, he's on the right track, because even students are talking about doing it. So I got to meet Benjamin at that particular time when I was with the chamber, and he's been through some things, and he's going to tell us about some of the things he's been through.
and, but the good that he is doing in our community, you need to know about. So Benjamin, thanks for coming.
Thank you. I'm going to send this to myself here.
It's probably me.
It's not me.
Quit.
Wasn't me.
Well, what you have on your table there is something that I printed off for you because there's some things that we'll talk about. I've been sharing this with people, lots of different groups. I've been in here a couple different times with some of the research that has gone on recently on record. And I really thought it would be a good idea for us to talk about what it means to be successful for teenagers these days. After some research that's happened after 2020, we all know, we were just sharing, some things that happened that turned our whole world upside down a little bit. And so I want to share that. And I am just trying to send this, and it didn't share, so hold on one quick second. I don't know why it's not sending, but I'm going to try it again. Different email. So Building 21, this is where we come together. This was sort of a theme after 2020 that we came up with because the world was trying to tear us apart, really, trying to separate us, seclude us, and teenagers. When we talk about Building 21, we talk about teenagers, young people, 6th through 12th grade. The teen population, and there was a lot of seclusion, separation, all of that. And we said, well, we need to be the place where we come together. It's a lot easier said than done. The slogan is great, but during that time, 2021, even into 22, things certainly were more difficult to bring people together, right? So we want to be a place where we bring people together. And what I want to talk about there is some research that has been done, and it really has to do with what success for teenagers really is. Now, I was not in an academic standpoint, I was not the most successful student. I was more of the average student. You wouldn't say I was a huge success. I remember even at graduation when they announced my name, I went to a small private school, but when they announced my name, my parents walk up on the stage with me, again, a small private school, but they said, Benjamin Charteau graduated with honors, and I was like, one of these? I looked at my parents, and they looked at me, I remember my dad poking me like, hey, I thought you were doing bad. I thought I was doing bad too. I don't know how that happened, I even walked up, I was like, what does it mean to graduate with honors? I don't even know what that means, So somehow I got like a 3.6 or higher. I didn't know, or 3.5. So I was an average student, average soccer player. I was the guy who just shadowed the coach because inevitably when something was going wrong, the coach would turn around and boom, run into Ben, right? There I am, because I might not have been the starter. Sometimes I was, sometimes I wasn't, but I was just average. So when he wanted to send someone in, he was going to run into me. That's what my job was just shadow the coach, because he needed to find me. So that was who I was. And I wouldn't say that I was successful, and you wouldn't say I was successful at everything I did. But historically, being successful in business, I think I'm looking at a lot of people that would probably agree. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a high GPA. It doesn't mean that what you do in the classroom always translates into the real world. And I had a heart a long time ago to start a teen center for students, because knowing that same fact, I needed coaches in my life. I needed mentors in my life. People would come alongside me in junior high and in high school to really invest in me. And I wanted to create a place that could do the same thing for other people. Deborah Murdoch, a doctor, recently shared the skills that graduates need to succeed. and we're gonna look at this list. And what you'll notice that this list is almost none of them have to do with academics. The skills that graduates needed in 2015, but also the ones in 2020. There are skills that are necessary, like collaborating as a team, complex problem solving, critical thinking. These are all skills that teenagers needed, but there's a couple in 2020 that really stuck out after they did this research of students after 2020, what they need. The two skills that made the top 10 list now, after 2020, are emotional intelligence and cognitive flexibility. Two that you wouldn't necessarily think in school you're going to get those all the time, but these are things that after you graduate that you need. Now, emotional intelligence, employers agree that graduates' IQ, it might be high enough to do the job, but their emotional quotient is lacking. Their emotional intelligence is what we mean when we talk about social and emotional learning. The issue has been really politicized by a lot of people, so we might lose sight of the competencies that really what this means. It means that we have to develop, and students have to develop self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management skills. Okay? That's what educators are seeing, that this is what is needed now, not just academic success, but then also cognitive flexibility. Now, this means as cognitive shifting. It means that how well a student can deliberately shift between mental processes to generate the appropriate behavioral responses. And we shift our body to change directions, don't we? If we want to shift in a car, we have to change directions in the vehicle, and we have to shift, we have to also learn to shift our thinking processes to become more adaptable in situations. What did we learn after 2020 and 2021 into 2022? Is we needed to learn how to shift. And teenagers are now having to learn and have had to learn a certain cognitive shifting that no one in history has ever had to learn, this kind of shifting and this kind of movement, because of what they all kind of went through. And yeah, there's been a lot of, some of you have probably lived through different times of, you probably remember the Cold War of diving under desks or doing bomb drills. There were, yes, a lot of things like that, but we can all probably agree nothing was in terms of the mental and emotional kind of what we all went through in 2020 and 2020 into 2021. The fact that schools in our area were shut down for more than a year, and people were in their homes doing school for a year and a half without any people around, right? There's a lot of shifting and changing that has to happen because of that. And so when students get stuck, which is what happens a lot now after the pandemic, they can become paralyzed and fail to adapt to new environments or new pressures. And so this is what they talk about with cognitive flexibility, learning how to adapt. When students focus only on academics and fail to develop interpersonal skills, they become less attractive to employers. That's what they will tell you. They become, there are few realities more common than a graduate who has a high GPA but can't work well with teammates, or they don't have good social skills. And so these are the kind of things that we work on at Building 21. What are the, we're working, I really love this too, because it points out two things: emotional intelligence and cognitive flexibility, two things that I feel like at Building 21 we can offer and help come alongside with that. So what predicts success after graduation? Well, organizational psychologist Adam Grant writes this: the evidence is clear, academic excellence is not a strong predictor of career excellence. Across industries, research shows that the correlation between grades and job performance is modest in their first year after college and very trivial after just a handful of years. For example, at Google, once employers are 2 or 3 years out of college, their grades have no bearing on their performance whatsoever. So what is helpful is firsthand experience. Dr. Grant continued, Academic grades rarely assess qualities like creativity, leadership, teamwork skills, social, emotional, or political intelligence. Yes, straight A students master cramming information and regurgitating it on exams, but career success is rarely about finding the right solution to a problem. It's more about finding the right problem to solve. This explains why Steve Jobs finished high school with only a 2.65 GPA. J.K. Rowling graduated from her university with a roughly C average, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. only got 1 A in all 4 years at Morehouse. So what we're doing is committing to building social and emotional skills as well as cognitive flexibility in young people so that they have a better chance at success. A couple things that we try to do, and it's in my bio that Doug so graciously put out there, but some things that we're trying to instill is character, trust, hope, potential, and influence in students before the age of 21. And you ask, 21, well, 21, it takes 21 days to form a habit, and we're trying to help build healthy habits by the age of 21. And we do this through inciting passion with different programs, with different opportunities for them to do things outside of just the academic sphere. Now, we do have people to help with homework and help with grades and do some tutoring. We do have that and offer that help. But what we focus on is a little bit different. So what predicts, so what, besides our mission and values, what else do we do? Well, we are continuing to offer certain programs and activities. But one thing that's interesting that you guys might all agree with me, who's has kids in here? You've raised kids, okay. So if you've been around kids or if you've raised kids, you understand this, that it's like in our house, I have 3 teenagers, one is graduating this year from Holt. And so with teenagers, it's an interesting concept. You ask them to do something like unload the dishwasher, and sometimes you don't get any response, right? It's like they didn't hear you. It's like it didn't register, right? They could be sitting across the couch from you, like what happened last week. Sitting across the couch from you, can you unload the dishwasher, please, right? For some reason, it's like, didn't even hear you. But if you are mentioning this, if you're mentioning like to your wife, which has also happened in our house, hey, and you're whispering, hey, would you like to go to ice cream? Maybe we want to go out for ice cream. My son, that same son who sat across from me, who didn't hear me ask him to unload the dishwasher, will be downstairs around the corner in his bedroom with the door closed and run up the stairs. Hey, did I hear you're going for ice cream? We're like, what? How did you hear that? Like, how did you, right? How did you hear that? You know, we kind of all attribute that to selective hearing, maybe a little bit, right? We understand, but there's actually research that they've done that's really interesting that has to do with what Building 21 is designed to help with, okay? Educators say that after 3 or 4 months, so if you ask teachers, after 3 or 4 months, it's like sometimes their influence starts to go down, or maybe students, they start to have less of an impact on their students, okay? It seems like, as educators would say, they start to tune in and out of conversations. Does that sound familiar with anyone who's raised kids, right? Why are you tuning in and out of my conversations? Well, what current research reveals about the teen brain, okay? What we need to understand about teenagers' brains, and that's why I'm bringing this to you, they did Stanford behavioral scientist Percy Mystery and his team conducted functional MRI scans of teens' brains ages 13 to 17. During the scans, they played recordings of the participant's mother as well as other voices that the participant didn't know, okay? Now, they also conducted this same research on students 7 to 12 years old. So what did they discover? When the young children's brains identified the familiar voices, like a mom's voice or a dad's voice, when they heard those voices from age like 7 to 12, it's triggered all sorts of responses beyond just hearing, but like reward centers and emotional processing in the brain, okay? But when they did the same scans on teens, their studies showed something completely different. A teen's brain showed a stronger response with unfamiliar voices, which were triggered by curiosity and intrigue. The teen brain began processing rewards and assigning social value to new voices instead of familiar voices. I read this, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And we all have been saying this, so we might think, well, that's just a teenager being rebellious, or a teenager that doesn't want to listen to a mom or dad, or even a coach who's been in their life for a really long time. But as a teen brain matures, their brain naturally pays attention to new voices. It's a way of growing up and becoming their own person. It may not be rebellion at all. It may be simply that they're growing into their own person. So what do we do? Well, as teachers, as educators, as someone who's in the teenager industry, what can we do about this? Well, recognizing that putting caring adults in a teenager's life is one of the most important things you can do. There's a lot of research around that, of just knowing that if you put a caring adult in a teenager's life, they may say something, reinforce something that a mom or a dad or a teacher or a principal or a coach has been trying to do, that just by getting that unfamiliar voice to say almost the same thing can light up new reward centers in the brain, and it triggers something and it changes something in them. And this is something I understand having teenagers, which is why I put my kids in front of mentors, or at church in the youth group, and having a group leader or a youth pastor say some things, right? So we don't want to miss out on these developmental milestones in students' lives by leveraging the village that we have. And so that's really, at Building 21 at the core level, I thought this research was really interesting, both the skills that teens need to graduate now, but also what's happening in their brains is exactly what Building 21 is trying to do with investing into young people. Now, that's a little bit about research, hopefully give you a little bit of an insight, understanding about where young people are in 2023 now after all of this. But then just maybe a little insight of where we're going, because you're right, we did have a teen center that had an indoor skate park in it, and we were doing lots of cool things and growing, and it was amazing. And then that teen center burned down 4.5 years ago. And it's been a fight. I'm not going to go into all of that. It's been a fight, kicking and clawing and scratching to try to get this thing rebuilt. It's still sitting unbuilt because we're fighting with the contractor right now, who needs a come to Jesus moment, actually. But we're fighting with the contractor right now because he put up the wrong trusses last year. So one thing led to another. We're still rebuilding, but it's not going to be an indoor skate park. It's going to be something entirely different. This is going to be the inside of the new facility. Oh, did that TV die on me? Oh, there it goes. I was like, where'd it go? This is going to be the inside of the building. What you'll see is half of it, about half of it, is going to be for our programs. I'm going to have a blown up view in another slide here in a second. But on the left half, which is the front half, if you imagine you're driving from here on Cedar Street, you're going to drive right past that front part of this building. That's right there. Oh man, that keeps going off on me here. I don't know why.
It's been blinking in and out.
It has? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a Ninja Warrior gym. And what's going to be interesting about a Ninja Warrior gym is it's going to appeal to a much larger demographic than a skate park ever could or would. The demographic for a skate park was somewhere around 16-year-old to 29 or 34-year-old white male. That was about it, okay? But that doesn't scream teen center or families either. A Ninja Warrior gym will bring more people together. It'll appeal to 5 to 60, every demographic, every male, female, black, white, any demographic can use this and thrive in this. People with special needs, kids, I have a child with special needs. When you talk about autism and kids with Down syndrome or mental illnesses even, Ninja Warrior can actually give them better spatial awareness. It gives them a better sense of where they are in the world. It gives them a better sense of like how to accomplish something, because you can't achieve some of the goals just the first time. You can't go to an obstacle and complete that obstacle the first time. You have to learn how to try and fail and fail and try and fail, right? And then succeed. So all of that, kids with special needs need that kind of environment where they have to try and achieve something, but they know that if they try, if they continue, even if they fail, they'll succeed. So this is going to be the inside of it. What a Ninja Warrior gym is? Well, I'm glad you asked. It looks like this. You're going to have a climbing wall. There's going to be apparatuses that people swing on and climb across. And the warp wall is the green part on the right side, where you run up and you try to get up it. There's going to be a lot of balancing type obstacles on the bottom. There's a parkour. If you guys remember, a little while ago, there was, I don't know, back early, mid-2000s, there was parkour, was real big. But it's still a thing where you're jumping across, diving across things. And so this is going to be a Ninja Warrior gym on one half, and then the other half is going to be our programming opportunities that we are already doing. We're doing some of these programs right now, like we have our summer programs coming up. And there's basically 9 days over a span of 3 weeks that students can come and learn a lot of different things. But in this space, in the other half, you see the office right there, you'll see the bathrooms, but there'll be a game zone that'll have a little bit of tech center stuff in it. But game zone is just that, video game. We have some arcade game, old school arcade games, that kind of stuff. There's going to be a mini maker zone. So maker is all things like 3D printers, maybe small CNC machines, laser cutting machines, woodworking tools, also art. A lot of maker spaces is a lot of STEM, like science, technology, engineering, and math kind of stuff. Also incorporates art, but it's not just those things. So for instance, one of our summer programs, we're bringing in Megan, who does some DIY home stuff. So she's gonna teach them how to make how to cut and make framed bulletin boards, as a DIY kind of thing. That would be a makerspace kind of thing. Put a 3D printer in there, that would be makerspace. So we're gonna have a mini maker zone. There's gonna be a senior high zone, which is just for upper level students. And those students would be able to hang out in there during the after school times. But also this would be a rental space. So we would be able to rent that room out if you wanted to provide for some of your kids, grandkids, a birthday party, and you wanted to bring 15, they wanted to bring 15 of their friends and run around in the Ninja Gym. Then you could also have access to the birthday room. It would be this room, the senior high room as well. We don't have quite names for all of them because when we do a capital campaign, we are going to have to raise money for some of these to finish this out. To actually finish the inside of it, we're going to have to raise some money because a lot of the insurance money had to go to site plan work, like hooking up water and redoing a parking lot that was not exactly in the budget, but we have to redo a lot of things. So we're going to have to raise money. So there'll be some naming rights that we'll have on some of these rooms. So we're just calling them these. It won't be the senior high zone. It could be whoever who wants to donate money to that will get their name on it if we want. So that's what the other part of the building is going to look like. So as you're driving past and you're wondering, what is that going to be? Why does it look like an overpriced pavilion? Well, it kind of is right now. But in the future, this is what it's going to look like on the inside. So just to give you, hopefully, maybe a little update of of what Building 21 is, where we're going. And we are doing summer programs. We kind of had to change our model after 2020. It was fantastic, as we all had to do, right? Change a few things, change how this looks. We went to a more membership-based model where students pay a membership fee and they can come and be a part of all the programs. So, like our summer programs, we're going to Sweet Encounters to do a training and a time with them. We're bringing in a group to do kayaking and fishing and canoeing on site. We're doing cake decorating and a mobile photography workshop. All of that going on is a really low cost fee for students to participate in the programs. And then in the fall, we're going to have more. So even though we're not in this space, we're still providing programs and opportunities, all based around that, like I said, inciting passion, inciting purpose in students, because we know, just like the research shows, that they might be with us for a short season. It might be 1 year, it might be 3 years, it might be 5 years, but they're only going to be with us for a short season. And we have a limited amount of time where we get to be that new voice. Instead of the familiar voice, we get to be that unfamiliar voice to speak into them. So my big ask that I've been sharing with everybody is, don't discount or discredit your involvement. If you would like to be involved or want to be involved, of course you can give money. Everybody wants money. Everybody needs money. We would love donations. That's fantastic. But even more than that, being involved in some way. When you see a fundraiser come up, just showing up to a fundraiser, or getting involved in donating some time. Maybe it's showing up. And I remember we went and visited a teen center in Chicago. They were talking about this. There's one volunteer, a grandma that comes in and she just sits and knits. And sometimes students come over and she teaches them how to knit. Sometimes they don't, but she sits and watches. She has conversations with people, and they said she's like one of the favorite, best volunteers that they have, because she's consistent, and she comes in, and everybody knows her, and she builds relationships with them just sitting there knitting. And I was like, I need that person, I need that person. So, we wouldn't discredit or discount anyone's involvement if they felt like, I can give an hour here or hour there. So being involved in that, and you guys are a service org, you understand. You understand volunteerism, you understand you've got things you're doing with Lions Club, and it's all great. I mean, what you do for your organization is great. But I just wanted to share that, because sometimes we discredit ourselves, or we say, well, I don't really have much to give, or I don't really know what I can do. But being that unfamiliar voice, it takes a village, So that's a little update. Hopefully that's my time, probably. But yeah, any questions?
Where are you now?
What?
Where are you located now?
We're in the building next door to it. So when you pull in the parking lot, there's 2 buildings. One is an event center. That's where we're in now. The church youth group meets in there. It's a mixed-use space. Now Capital Area Driving School also rents it on evenings. So we were just in the building across the parking lot. That's the one that burned down. So luckily we were able to just jump across the parking lot, and continue a lot of things we were doing even through 2020 and 21 and 22.
Where is this facility?
If you drive up Cedar on the coming from here, you're going north, and you go around the curve, and there's Kitzmiller RV on your left. And then there's Schramm Auto, and you pull and save the salvage. We are right across the street. And if you go to hit Tola Firearms, you've gone too far.
Yeah. So who do you have coming in doing your canoe and kayak?
Canoe, Power of Water.
Gotcha. Good folks.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
folks.
they're great. They came last year. We were like, they were amazing.
Yeah, Trey's a great guy. He really
Yes.
is.
Yeah, I bought a couple kayaks from him last year. And so now we own a couple kayaks, and the guy who, it wasn't Trey, it was his,
Scott,
can't remember who it was. That
young
was
guy or?
younger guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he was the one who did the training.
Okay, good, yeah.
But yeah, Power of Water is great.
Yeah, they are.
How many students do you have at one time, basically?
Usually, right now, after school, it's around 15 or so. We have about 45 members this year. And this is the first year we went to a whole new system. So this is the first year we actually enforced membership. In years past, it was like we we had membership, but it was just kind of whatever, you know, figure it out. Nobody ever really, we didn't enforce it, nobody ever really paid, that kind of a thing. But that also meant a lot of students took advantage of us, and so we had to pare that down because, you know, when you give something away for free, they think it's free and they don't really see it as valuable. And so we realized that even a $25 for a year membership made a big difference in terms of the people who are there really care to be there. They take advantage of the programs as opposed to just coming and taking advantage of us.
Give
So-
scholarships for people
We
that.
do, yeah. Like Jody Pentecost Foundation has given us money, and we usually get grants for scholarships. But we never turn anyone away. Even if I don't have grants for scholarships, we'll never turn someone away. But we have about 45 members, and usually it's around 15 or so a day.
And, no, you're open every day?
We're open 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday after school mostly.
Okay.
Yep, and then we have once a month on a Friday night, which is another thing that we love to have volunteers for. Once a month on the second Friday of every month, we have something called Friday Night Live. You don't have to be a member, you don't have to be connected to Building 21, you can just come. So it's just a alternative Friday night party solution for teenagers. We have different themes on those Friday nights, like we have cornhole and corn dog coming up in June. We have fire and ice. We're gonna have a fire department out there doing some training stuff with them, and then have a big ice cream sundae. In May, we did Friday, Fiesta Friday, because it was the week after Cinco de Mayo, so we did a whole Fiesta theme. So we have themes to them, but those Friday nights are really special too, because it's kind of a wide, broader net that you don't have to pay anything. You just come, you know.
What is it called again on
Friday
Friday?
Night Live. Yeah, and all of it can be, you can find it at building21.org. If you just spell out the number 21 or just type in probably building 21, it'll pop up. We're pretty high up on Google.
Any other questions? We have a little bit
Thanks.
of a thank you note here. This is for you.
Oh. What
And
is
we'd
it?
like to thank you for coming
Thank
tonight.
you.
This
Oh.
has been fascinating.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, anytime I can spread a message.
You're welcome to stay for our business meeting if you like. You're not obligated to. It's up to you.
Stick around for a little bit.
Okay.
Hear what you guys are all about.
All right, we'll start with the secretary's report.
Okay, the secretary's minutes are on the back of your agenda. They are a little different, just by one sentence from the ones that were emailed out, because I finally noticed on my notes that Wayne got his chevron, so that's not on here. But that's the only difference.
Okay. Next, treasurer's report.
We have money.
Good.
Want details?
Yes, please.
Okay. Administrative account, 7,328. Gaming, after, I've got the checks written, I haven't sent them. But after that's paid, we've got 14,324.82. Donations, $3,063.56.
Okay. Thank you.
So on the Texas Hold'em, we made over 3,000.
We would have,
We would've,
What's that mean?
if we hadn't made some errors.
okay.
So the final positive is $2,846.20. We made some mistakes. 3 of the 4 nights. One of which was fairly significant. So we gave away $400, $399 somehow or another. So we gotta think, you know,
First place.
think about deals. I don't know how it happens, you know, I mean, Ken and I came up with, was it $81 short on that, or not Ken and I, but Doug and I,
Yeah, it's
and you just,
yeah.
you know, I mean, last, in March, Jeff and Karen had some head scratchers. You never did understand all that. So stuff get crazy, you get people going back and forth. And you're dealing with all these sticky $100 bills and counting 20s, and then you've got the dealers coming up and dumping,
Oh,
you know, piles of $1 bills on top of you, and you're trying to sort that out at the same time. Somebody comes up to cash in, and somebody else wants, you know, there's a call for 200 bread, please, and,
I don't know.
and then I need 5 ones, and
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gets confusing, so let's go ahead and move on here. Leo Club report. Has anybody been?
I was at the Leo Club for their last meeting of the year. A couple quick developments that they're planning on. It was a very serious meeting. They had a professor emeritus from MSU there who was doing something with the school district. But they were really honing in on our Leos on relationship building. So they're looking at various things that they can do both this year and next to begin that process. And they want to help introduce the new people to Mason Middle School in August. They're thinking about maybe possibly an ice cream social or back to school type of thing. They're going to change the meeting day to Thursdays from Fridays, okay? Now there'll be some exceptions to the Thursdays when Amber McCray has to be elsewhere. But for the most part, it's going to be on Thursdays. So we'll probably have to get with her. She wants to get with Cindy about that, so she'll talk to Cindy about that too. The other thing that I mentioned to them was that the Mason Sycamore Creek Garden Club does something every year called planting down-home daffodils, the ones that you see by the bank and the City Hall and stuff. They're always looking for some kids to help. They've used Honor Society students before in the past, but Leo would be a good thing.
Sure.
They also plan on doing the Prop Walk for Hunger again.
Okay.
And they had a nice pizza party afterward.
Oh, all right.
It was really good. And that was it.
Okay, scholarship presentations, that was interesting. This event was, I used to think it was the honors night, it isn't, it's local scholarship awards night. And all of the awards given out were from clubs like ours, or there were some private foundations that have been established to memorialize a deceased faculty member or something like that. So they gave out, I think it was 45 scholarships and $57,000, that ballpark, not exactly, but it was interesting to watch them all. State Street Flower Box planting. Watch the deer, yes.
One thing that Cindy brought up in an email was that we need to think about watering.
Yes.
I think in the past Melinda had been doing it.
Yeah, and before that, Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Apparently Boy Scouts aren't doing it anymore.
Apparently not.
So is somebody available to volunteer?
Oh, once a week?
You would have to talk to Melinda about what she did.
Just depends on the weather.
Yeah, I would think so.
As dry as it's been, I think probably twice a week. Like if two people wanted to sign up for different days or something.
I can take her.
Okay, thank you.
And we can get water over at,
I think that's where she was getting it, over at the CPA office
Yeah.
over there.
Okay, storage of materials from wares. I did pick out those materials and they're at our house for the time being. We've got room in the barn. Jeff's talking about building a shelf that we'll just put all of the line stuff that happened to be at our house, put it in one place so we can find it readily when the time comes. Let's see, the family picnic. Thank you, Jenny, for making arrangements for us to have it at Aurelius Township. And we don't have definitive statement here about what's going on. I don't know that we have a committee necessarily, but we're gonna make this happen. Jeff and I are going to provide the burgers and brats and the buns to go with that and the toppings and so forth. I think if everybody else brings a dish to pass, that will be good as far as meals. We will have installation of officers, and Lorraine has agreed to do that.
And many green door prizes, lots of green.
I thought.
Door prizes, okay.
Apparently Chris's, the woodsmen are not providing food now.
Oh, he said they would? Okay, then I missed that.
You might want to touch base with Chris to see what
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
planning on.
okay,
Definitely.
then if he said that, I forgot it, I apologize.
Well,
Cause they
let's
said
find
something
out.
about chicken or something, or,
No, I don't know, but we better find out from him.
yeah. Pulled pork would be
Okay,
good.
so let's plan on meeting there
Otherwise,
at
we have to
6
eat
o'clock.
twice.
Yeah, we'll plan to meet there at 6 o'clock for the picnic. hopefully it'll be better weather than last year.
Yeah.
Anything else that we need to talk about in terms of old business? Any new business we need to talk about?
Yes, we have some things that are gonna come up very quickly, in beginning of September, because we don't meet until the second, Wednesday in September, which is already past, Mason Cares Day, which is the 11th of September. I have a flyer up here. Last year, we've collected water and stored it over at, Modern Woodman, and then they delivered that on the day. Karen and I helped out at the registration desk at Mason Cares Day for people washing and waxing fire trucks. So if you want to be more involved, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to probably just do the same thing again. But there's a flyer up here that you can take with you, which explains what that is. And please take another one to get somebody to come in your place or with you, one or the other. Also, the international organizations are again doing Celebrate Community this year. They've done it the past couple of years. The first year we tried to get all the service organizations involved in the Crop Walk for Hunger because it was that week in October. Last year we tried to get everybody involved in raising money for Maggie's Wigs for Kids and the Harathon at Sparrow, which seemed to work fairly well. But this year they don't coincide with anything. So I've been talking with the other service organizations, everybody seriously except for Kiwanis. And what we've come up with is a way of being able to bring attention to the needs in our community for what we call our cultural heritage renovations. The museum is undergoing renovation. It needs a new roof. And the library is undergoing renovation. It needs a new front entrance and bathrooms and other things. So I've put together a proposal, a case that I plan to take to the other service clubs. We can figure out what we want to do in the fall, but we'd have to figure it out at the first meeting, okay? Because it's that week right before Down Home Days.
Okay.
So, I have that proposal right up here, plenty of copies of that too. And I'll get those out to the other service clubs and see what they want to do. My wife suggested that maybe some of the service clubs would like to do a different kind of fundraiser for that, rather than just asking people for money. So she said, why don't you do a dinner? I said, I don't know. But maybe there's something else that we can come up with which would be just as fun. We can do it during the Down Home Days show if we want to, because it's that week. So something to think about.
Okay.
And also, just to let you know, because we're jumping the gun here, Poker Room is in October, and sign-ups for that are up here on a board. I'll bring that to the picnic as well. And we also have sign-ups for the Down Home Days show and the Crop Walk. Those are already up here too, and I'll bring them to the picnic as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. Yes, Rich?
And one thing that, I don't know if Dave's seen it or not, but there's something floating around, and I haven't been able to dig the details out, but apparently the November 26th football game may be at Ford Field.
Oh,
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
I've seen a notification, but not been able to get through the notification. It's probably gonna be in tomorrow's State Journal.
Rich, that was on my phone on Channel 10 was advertising.
Yeah, that, so we may not have to be the end of November standing in front of Spartan Stadium.
Oh, true.
We may lose some money,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure we'll whine too much.
yeah, that brings up another thing. She's gonna want background checks done,
Yep.
and I'll let you know when she comes out with that, so. And this year, you'll have to pick up your uniform when you get there in the
Yep.
first game. Cause I'm not gonna go in and pick up 30 uniforms and coats and stuff, so. Well, thank you, Jennifer. I think that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Okay, any other announcements or reminders?
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
Rich, were you notified of the dues increase for International? International is increasing their dues effective July 1st.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, I got an email from Esther Lamont, and she
Okay.
had,
I
It's on there.
have it in here someplace.
They'll send me a bill.
Yeah, they're raising them over a period of years, actually.
Yeah,
Right, a lot of this stems from when they didn't do it
Yeah,
during the pandemic, they're catching up now.
yeah, as of July first, the full billing will be $23 per half year, so $46 a year.
all right, that's up from 2150.
Yes. Per half
Well, that's
year,
a pretty
yeah.
good, that's a pretty good jump, that's.
They're making up some.
Okay.
Well, no, 2150 per, so that would be $43 is what we're paying per year per standard member.
And now it's going up to 46 for the year.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
I
$3
misunderstood.
I thought it was
And-
less than $5.
Okay.
The
The-
family memberships will continue to be half price for the second person.
Yeah.
Okay,
But then the next
any
year they
other
go up again.
announcements and reminders?
I do have an announcement, Stanley, they got Stanley a chair,
Mhm.
not happy, but he does have a chair that if he were so inclined to get into, he can get out and about. But he does have to take a driving test, he has to learn to drive this.
Well, Jenny showed a video of it a few minutes ago. That's quite a
No,
unit.
it's quite the machine.
Yeah.
And he didn't look happy,
He
but
wasn't.
he did not look happy.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready for 50/50 and Joker draw. Oh, one thing I will mention, and some of you already know this. Some of you know Richard Faust, who is state treasurer for a number of years and is a member of the whole club and has been, Jeff has worked with him a lot of bill transcribing. Anyway, he passed away suddenly Monday this week. So. Okay, 50/50.
50/50.
359. Oh, no,
$9.
344.
Oh, I missed it by
I
one.
got it.
Why?
Ken's got it.
Last one on the end. Look at that.
I know, because it matches this end right here.
There you go.
Thank you.
Big one was down,
Say one of them.
yeah, on four.
All right.
You want-
We're up to
536.
$92 for the Joker draw.
I got 536, you got 534.
I bought that later.
Put that one right down, set it right down on the table. Now you can draw.
Wow.
You get the right one?
535.
Just off by one. You missed by one.
We both missed by one.
5:35?
That's right.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know how that happened. Oh, no, you were quite a while there.
I know
What'd
that.
I say, $92? Something like that?
Well,
All
at least I
right.
didn't lose.
I didn't check this time to see if
No winners, no
it was
losers.
in there or not, so you're welcome to shuffle them or cut them or do as you please. Oh, 2 hearts.
It's the first time I won that. In several
50/50.
years. Yeah,
In
several
years?
years. I used to
You
win
weren't
back.
close that
I
way.
used to win all the time.
I know. Well, see, it's right out of luck.
Yeah, you weren't close. It was on the bottom last time. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's 4 up from the bottom.
Yeah. Right in the middle.
All right. Well, you didn't
He's
know I
upside
have
down.
to take this over next year anyway.
Jenny, when you were talking back there, I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, I said, well, this
All right.
is the new chair.
Okay, does anybody else have anything they need to cover?
Do that.
If not,
We're not gonna talk about, probably not.
Regular meeting is adjourned. Now, here's the deal. We do need to come up with a budget for next year, but as a courtesy to Jamie, we're supposed to be out of here by 7:30. There's no way we're gonna get the budget covered in 10 minutes. So, permission of the group, I'd like to postpone that until some future time. Okay.
She actually.
Got a new chair on.
Anybody else? This year's donations have already been made, so we're talking about next year's budget,
You got all the buttons on, cars have too?
It doesn't have a radio with it.
So we're adjourned, right?
We're adjourned.
Yeah, 15 years. This is the person she's associated with. She's also a high-end coach. Now, to this person, her backstory is that she's working kids, in the office, and when they go out. I said, let's go take a walk. I went for a walk and
Oh, come back another time.
Oh, yeah.
anyway,
Well,
I
next
just
week's
thought,
president,
what
maybe
you're
tonight
thinking,
anyway.
because if you, probably all kinds of.
Day is done.
Good for us.
You can't drive it. When I seen the flag.
Alright,
Ended up
so anyway, I wanted to
driving
talk.
his around.
No, that's cool. I was like, gonna open it, and then it was just, wow.
We're good folks for the next week's president is here, so it's
Right,
anyway, so
Yeah.
we'll, we're out.
Okay.
Thanks, Rich.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Are you really? That's so funny, I said that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like, well,
I think the building
But
is
in the fall, like,
when they're building, that looks like, they got the
Come fall, if there's.
outside up.
Sometimes it's, we have different programs that we offer, it's just like maybe for an hour, where we teach students lots of things. We have like the library teaching,
Yeah.
capillary, library came in and they taught like. So like, those things.
We've seen these, they've got these new. Yeah, trying to track that, yeah.
And what's the difference between knitting and crochet?
knitting is a series of weeks in a continuous row.
Okay.
Crochet is one more, knitting is two. But anyway, crocheting.
I wrote it,
Crocheting is
yeah, be just like paper white, not it.
Okay, right.
So, it's not a series of weeks, it's a continuous.
Interesting. Yeah, you have to, but that's the two is knitting and one.
Here's that, that's all set.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
This time I got everything in there, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that was what the interesting thing in this teen center that we did. He, usually once a month or once a semester,
I'm,
teach a program how to.
going this way.
And I was like, I never thought about that before, but students loved it. And I was like, okay, great, I mean, that's cool, so, yeah.
See you later. Well, finishing up on the training. But you're doing well. It's open, adult. One, for example, is training.
Oh, yeah.
How do you get all your work done next time? And as they say, it's a delay.
Okay, not till the 16th.
But anyways, something that this week,